good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is the Odd Couple Rant. And today, my very special guest, Great Example, is going to be here talking about a mindset reset, sponsored by DistroKid. We're going to kick off with one of Great Example's songs called Poison Memories. Let's urge, baby.
Cities of gold burn behind these walls. Can't look back, was here, but now I'm gone. Dreams that once ruled my days vanish with the dawn. Drown in tears the fear I've fallen down. Golden wings, please fly us far from here. Pawn-shop rings collected through the years. Take these poison memories and disappear. Trumpets ringing through the night. Gentle whisper promise things will be alright. Everything's burning, nothing's left. Scream so loud, no one can hear us now. We're all alone again tonight. Golden wings, please fly us far from here. Pawn-shop rings collected through the years. Take these poison memories and disappear. From the ashes, can we rise? Can we find hope? Can our dreams survive? Does it all go up in smoke? Tell me when I go, who will protect my heart? Take these poison memories, they're all I've known. Golden wings, please fly us far from here. Pawn-shop rings collected through the years. Take these poison memories and disappear. Please fly us far from here. Pawn-shop wings collected through the years. Take these poison memories and disappear.
Hey. Stop. Enough of Brad Examples music. We've heard enough. Hello, what's going on? My name's Jade. Where's my tag? There it is. And welcome to the show. This is the Odd Couple Rant, where we talk about a topic and I have a guest on, and I'm trying to mix it up and have different guests on as we do these randomly throughout the time. So not as full on as the normal rants, where I get a little bit, emotional. Maybe not as much as those. But I need to let you know before I bring on our guest, hello to everyone. Welcome. Also, but I need to let you know also that today's show is somehow sponsored by our dear friends at DistroKid, because this ties in really well with what we're talking about today, because negativity and positivity and all this stuff and mindset for releasing music, because to get to this stage, to actually release your music through DistroKid, you've got to be in a good mindset. You've got to be in a place to be able to create music, and that is not always attainable. But hopefully we can talk through some stuff today and help with some of that kind of stuff to get you through that, to help you to get released music through our friends here at DistroKid. And you can release your music for the ridiculously low price of $24.99 billed annually to you, and you get one artist to release your music, unlimited songs, unlimited albums, unlimited lyrics as well, Spotify checkmark. You can split your royalties with people if you've done collabs, heaps and heaps of tools to market your music once it's up there and out on those streaming services. And if you want to use a mobile app as well, you can do that to upload your music from an Android device, from an iOS device, from your desktop. It's all up to you. Sorry, I got croaky just as I was starting to talk. What ridiculous time to get croaky. 3 tiers, as you can see. One of them, musician, $24.99. Musicians Plus is $44.99. We get 2 artists and a few extra little things here, like, synced lyrics where you can follow the bouncing ball with your lyrics, daily streaming stats, customizable label names. So if you've got your own record label, you can do that. You can set a release date, and you can set a price as well. Or you can be greedy like me and use the ultimate plan, which is what I use because I have way too many artists, and that is $89.99 billed annually. And you get 5 artists and the ability to add more as you go, a la carte, right? And you get a whole lot of other things here. Bunch of extra things as well too. So it is worth your time to release your music through DistroKid. And as I always say on this show, you know what I'm going to do. I love you, DistroKid. Mwah. So thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring today's show. So ironically, today's guest, about a year ago, was sitting right here in this very studio with me. Can you believe that? A year has gone by when Brad Example was actually here in Australia from Canada, and we hung out, we made music together, we went fishing together, we we did a lot of crazy things. We went out and drunk alcohol with our friends, it's a year. It's unbelievable to realize that. He's a musician from Canada. He does live streams, performs every weekend. That's coming to an end soon. Maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the show. He's the perfect person to talk about today's topic, I think, because boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of discussions about this kind of topic with Brad. And sometimes it feels like, I'm not going to lie, that we just go round and around and around and around and around in circles. And I can see him sitting there almost holding his breath in his little cream cardigan. Look at him with his bandana. Shall I bring him on, folks? It's up to you. Let's bring him on. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Without further ado, Canada's own, it is indeed, Brad Example. Hello.
Hi, Jade. It's me, Bradley.
Hello, Bradley. Hello, Bradley.
Thank you for having me on.
That's all right. Thank you for coming on.
It was a year ago I was there.
Yes, that's what I just said. A year ago. Can you believe it? It's a year. It's ridiculous how fast
I can't even believe it. I know.
And boy, did we get up to some mischief,
It was awesome. It was probably the best. It was probably the most amazing experience of my life. Like, how many people from Canada get to go to Australia? Not many.
I don't know.
It doesn't happen often.
I think a lot of people travel.
Yeah, people travel, but they go to like Paris, or they go to Amsterdam or something, Right. I don't know.
Right.
or Fort Lauderdale or Miami or
But hardly
Nashville.
anybody from Canada goes to Australia.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I never knew anybody growing up that went to Australia.
I've
so
met
I
a
was
lot
like,
of people in Canada, from Canada here.
Oh, have you? Yeah, I never did. All growing up, everybody always said, "Oh, I want to go to Australia one day," but nobody ever did.
Right. Well, you did, and it was amazing. Right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
We made music, and you're always welcome to come back again. Look out, there's trouble brewing. He's like, he's going to have a fight with his mum.
Can't.
He's
She wants me to put it on the TV, and I'm like, I can't. I'm in the middle of this.
Tell her to watch it. That's Brad's mum, if you didn't know. So, look, today we're talking about how do I phrase this? So, probably the best way to phrase this is understanding the power of our own words. And I'm not just talking about the words that come out of our mouth, but the words that go into our brain. Understanding our brain a little bit more. Because, and I'm guilty of this, and I'm sure many other people are guilty of this, be it you talking out loud to yourself or just overthinking things in your head and programming your brain to be not good, right? And it doesn't,
negative self-talk.
yes, and it doesn't help that we live in a world at the moment where when you're not even self-talking and negatively self-talking, and you turn that off and you're able to calm it down and turn it off, well, what happens is you turn on the tally and there's a bunch of stuff being thrown at your brain to keep it in a negative place. It feels like we're being bombarded 24/7 from all angles to keep our brains in a really bad, yucky, horrible place. And it's a work in progress. It's something you constantly have to work on. And we're going to talk about some methods and some things that you may not realize that you are doing. But first, let's say hello to some people who are in the chat. And I see Chris Lane Sr., Forrest of the
Chris Lane
Wolf,
Sr.
Dave Bops. We've also got Paws and Guitars. Chris Lane says, understand my brain. Good luck with that. I don't want to understand your brain. I'm having enough trouble understanding his brain. Cold Acre, hello. Who else? Scott Borthwick, g'day. Lewis Cook, Jamie Lynn, you're in her bad books. Did I say Gmail? I did. Gmail, Camp Gmail. No, I didn't. Gmail's in the house. Ivan Ideas here as well too. What's going on, Ivan? Good to see you.
Right on. I got to talk to you, Dave. I got to send you a message. I need you to mix a song for me.
Right.
If you can.
Yeah, he needs you to do something for him. It's strange, that one. Who would have thought that? Jenny Jolivet, Dan Ekberg, hello to you. Paws and Guitars, g'day. Forrest of the Wolf, hello to you. I'll say that I might have missed. I'm going up as fast as I can, and soon if I've missed you, just let me know in the chat. Just say something and I can call you out. I think I've got most of you here. Jenny,
I can't see anybody, so hello to everybody all at once. Hi. Thank you for coming.
It hasn't worked out how to pop out the chat and close the window.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah, so there we are. All right. I'm going to start by let's start a foundation of this conversation, right? So understanding the power of words in your language literally shapes the reality and reinforces your neural pathways. For a long time, Brad, example, and even now too, you know this from being my friend, sometimes I lose my absolute utter mind and get very angry, and don't get angry at so much. Like, I should be getting angry at the things around me, the technology or the thing that I'm doing, but I always take it out on me, and I still do it. And no matter how many times I've seen medical help about this, I'm better. I know I'm better, but I still do it, and I still revert into these negative words and yell and say shit like, why do I do this? I'm so stupid. And have you encountered this kind of thing? Do you yell at yourself? Do you beat yourself down?
I definitely beat myself down. I don't yell at myself. I get frustrated and I give up. I say, okay, I can't figure this out. It's frustrating me. I'm just going to put it away for a little while, and then I'll come back to it later or tomorrow, or I'll figure it out later. But with you, you have to do a show right away. So you get frantic and swear and yell and kind of outwardly express your anger or your frustration with what's happening, whereas I kind of bottle it up and push it aside for the day or for a few hours, and then I go back and I say, okay, I can do this, I can figure this out, and then I sit down and kind of try to figure it out from a new like perspective and a little bit of time away. But I'm the worst for it. Like I tell myself constantly, I can't fucking do this. I can't do it.
Well, you do,
Like
yes.
I'm bad for that.
Right. And, you're right with me. For the longest time, in my personal life, dealt with a lot of anger issues, right? And so I'm just going to give, for those of you who aren't familiar, and you can do your kind of spiel as well too, who aren't familiar with either of us, I used to be very, very violent and very, very angry and punch things and punch holes in walls and damage things and was very, a loose cannon, and had some very severe anger issues. These days, I don't punch anything. I don't smash anything, which is good because that saves a lot of money. In the old days, it was terrible because I broke everything all the time. But it's really hard to get a control over your anger, and this kind of stuff can play into it with negative feelings and all this stuff. Where there's a really old story. Hang on, before I get into that, and also, I'm trans, so I had to go and see a psychologist in various ones to deal with that. But I remember going through this kind of stuff and sitting there going, listen, I don't need to talk to you about this. I know what I need to do to change that problem. So I'm already doing it. So can we just forget that? Let's talk about my anger issues. Because my anger issues were really bad, and the way I would beat myself up and say, you're shit, you can't do this, you're worth nothing, and totally just do this to myself. And it took a long time to get around it. Now, one person in particular told me I should just bottle stuff up and try to push it down, and that didn't turn out very good because the continued pattern of violence and punching things and smashing things was prevalent. It kept happening. But eventually, I got to the point where it's okay to yell a little bit here and then and have an outburst and just get it out into the open.
Yeah.
But it's being able to get that out and move on from it. That is the thing, and not sit on it and brew on it. And I still do this all the time. I still not all the time. The full on yelling and stuff. It's various smaller amounts of time. But the beating yourself up stuff, like I'm terrible at this, I can't do this, this is impossible, how am I going to do this? This stuff still crops up, but somehow it gets done.
Yeah.
What's been your experience through younger times in your life with experiencing this kind of stuff? Because, I grew up in a really violent house. My house was really, really violent. And it was, and as I got older into my teens, I was punching walls, doing the same thing, getting angry, yelling and screaming. I lost a knuckle. I punched a concrete wall and I lost my pinky knuckle on my hand. So I don't have a knuckle on that hand. I have it on this hand, but nothing on this hand. I punched it so hard that my finger was sticking out here and I had to pop it back into place. I thought, oh my God, and I just went pop and it popped back in. But in the process of doing that, and the doctor said, had I not done that, they would have had to cut me open and realign my bones. But anyway, I popped it back in and I lost a knuckle in the process. But I haven't been like that in years and years and years. I just beat myself up and tell myself that I'm useless and beat myself up like that. I mentally terrorize myself. So I do that a lot and say, this sucks. I suck. I should just quit. I just suck. And I just keep telling myself that over and over and over and over. Everything I do, I'm like, is this okay? Is this bad? Is it good? Is it, it's okay to me. I think it's fine, but it could be better. But I don't ever think this is great. I'm jacked about this. This is awesome. I did a really good job. I'm really proud of myself. I never think that. I always think, is anyone going to like this? Or is it just me that's going to like this? Or
am I just terrible? You know, I constantly have that battle in my head all the time about whether I'm good enough or competent enough to pull off what I'm trying to do. Like I still have Pete's video for buses up on my tabs because I keep going back to it to like listen to it and listen to it and listen to it to try to remember how to make buses and how to get an effect on a bus and then send it to the bus and how that all works and then have that in my mix. And I'm still not at the point where I can do it yet, but I'm starting to kind of get it. Like I know the effect is on the bus and not the track. It's just the effect that's on there. So I slowly learn things. Like I keep the tab open. I refer to it every time I want to try to use a bus. And then I come back out here and I sit and I watch the video again. And then I go back and go, okay, I can do this. I can make a bus. And then I make the bus and then I think, okay, I did it. I have to make sure I hit the select button at the top. I have to make sure I do all this stuff. And those are the little things that I forget to do all the time. So it discourages me because I forget these little things like, oh, how much do I add? Do I add a lot? Do I add a little? It just beats it twists my head into knots.
My next question is, what's her name? I'm not messing about. Come on.
I don't have a name for her.
I'm not talking about the name for that. You know which her I'm talking about. The name. What's her name?
Emma Silas.
No. Cyrus.
Emma Cyrus. Emma Cyrus.
If you don't know who we're talking about, go and look her up, Emma Cyrus on YouTube. Anyway, forgetfulness.
Emma Cyrus, I got it. It took me a minute, but I got it.
You did well. The question is about this stuff. Just going over to music for a minute there, Brad. When I hear you like talking about this stuff, about trying to remember
because you're the one I talk to about it the most.
Yeah, but when I hear you talking about it going, but I've got to keep remembering how to do this bus, my initial thought is straight away is, why do you need to remember this? Weren't you not already making music without this piece of information?
Yeah,
or
I was.
You just adding an extra layer. Once you know how to do it, put it in your back pocket for when you actually need it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to do it all the time. Like
because I use limited tracks anyways. If I was like Russ and doing 93 tracks, well, then I would definitely use buses because I'm putting, 13 or 14 different things through a reverb. But because I'm only using 3 guitars, 2 vocals, 1 bass, a sub bass and another vocal, and that's it. That's all I'm using. And maybe a drum track and maybe not, sometimes strings, whatever. But I have very few channels, so I can just put the effect on the channel. I don't need to use the bus. But I like the idea of the bus because it dials in exactly how much you want.
Yes, I get it. Hello, Lisa Noel as well. And if I've missed anyone, welcome aboard. Did you know, Brad, Gmail's fingernails are the best trimmed in the business? Let's not even go down that path.
Keep your fingernails trimmed, Gmail.
Let's not even go down that path today. We got a sponsor and all that kind of stuff. Ed Zielinski says, I have a blockage on learning notes on the guitar fretboard. Buses are much easier for me. See, these are things too, right? Like there are certain things.
See, the fretboard's easy for me. I just know where I start, and then I do the ABCs like kind of like doing math with your fingers. I just go D sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp. You know what I mean? I just go up and I count it in my head. But with the buses, it's trickier. But with the fretboard, I kind of know where I am. If someone says play F sharp, I know where F sharp is. I know where D sharp is. I know kind of where they all are.
Because G'day Pete Johns as well too. See, this is one of the reasons we're doing this show today is because me and Brad, we talk every day, right? And we seem to have this conversation every day. Sometimes we get in a bit of a loop. right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get in a bit of a loop. And g'day to Barry Glenn as well. Thanks for joining us. And there's an old story, right? So there's an old story when I went to Thailand. This always comes up for me with like negative thoughts and boxing yourself into a position where you can't get out of this reoccurring loop which people can find themselves in. And when I went to Thailand, we ended up at this crocodile farm and we walked all the way to the back. People have heard me say this story before. I hate repeating myself, but I'm going to anyway for those who haven't heard it. And when we got to the back of the crocodile farm, there was an elephant standing on a podium with all its legs on the podium, and it just would not move off the podium, and it just swayed back and forward. And we walked up to it, and I had an umbrella, and it wrapped its trunk around my umbrella, and it looked so freaking sad. It looked so sad. I'm thinking, why is it not getting off this podium? It's not even tied down to the podium. And as it turns out, it's probably tried to do that for many years. But in the past, it was chained to something. And after a while of trying to pull itself off to get off this podium being chained, eventually it just gives up because it knows it's going to be chained. And once it gets to that point, see, elephants have a really long memory apparently, and so do we. Right? We actually have good memories, even though many of us tell ourselves we have crap memories, which is another problem, right? We keep telling ourselves, I can't remember anything. It's like, yeah, because you keep telling yourself you can't remember things. So eventually these elephants, they get so brainwashed that you could take the chain away and tie that with a tiny piece of wool, and it would just still think it's tied down because it feels something on its leg. So they
say the same thing about dogs. If you chain a dog up and you leave it chained up for so many years, you let it off the chain, it'll walk 2 feet and lay down just away from the chain. Yeah. But it'll lay down right there. Like, it doesn't want to go far. It just wants its freedom.
Yeah, the brain remembers this stuff. The brain there's so many signals that fire in our brains, like pain receptors, happy receptors, all the things, all the emotions that I know some people out there say we shouldn't feel all these emotions and we just should stick to the facts and stuff. You can't turn this stuff off, right? So if you get in this situation, it's like being in I remember getting a horse when I was younger, and we got it very cheap. And the condition why it was so cheap was they said it's head shy. And I was like, what is head shy? I had no idea what that was. And the owner had been beating the horse its entire life and punching it with his forearm in the head. So any time anyone got near it and slightly raised their arm near the horse, it flicked away. So this is why the horse was so cheap for us to buy in our family. And it took so many years for me to try and win its confidence back to, have it not shy away, which is head shy. That's the whole meaning of it, right? Somebody's abused it. And you see this with animals. You see this with people. You see this in abusive relationships, right? You see people who've been beaten down by somebody continuously.
They cringe.
They jolt every time, and you see this people who've been in conflict, in war, soldiers, like there's been landmines that have gone off while they've been on their tours, and they come back to civilization and a car backfires and the dude will drop to the ground in the middle of the street. Like this is... your brain is such a powerful thing. It remembers, even though we constantly tell ourselves that, I can't remember anything. And as I say this, remember, folks, Chemol K, he's awesome. He's just put this random code in the chat. If you don't know what that means, copy and paste it, put it into your Apple.
Chem rules.
Chem's so good, best. Nice, right?
That's the coolest thing to do.
So the way you do it, you come over here, right? And you see this? This is the App Store. I'll show you here. And you click your little account and you've got redeem gift code and you put that code in here and you'll get a free app.
First one to do it gets a free app.
First one to do it, and you'll know if you didn't get it, it'll say it's been cashed in. So there you go.
On, Jim.
We don't even know what it's going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. Could be anything. Cool. It's a raffle. Thank you, Chem, for doing that. That's so nice of you.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Let's continue on with this discussion because the brain is just incredibly, incredibly powerful. It is a super interesting thing because it does so many cool things that we'll never understand, right? We'll probably get to understand neural networks before we understand our brain. But words that are commonly used for our brains that create problems. And
Yeah.
absolutes are those words. Absolutes. Now,
Yeah.
like, obvious.
I can't.
Yeah, I
That's
can't.
a bad one.
Always, another word, right? I always fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And it's not true. It's just not true. There's nobody living on this planet who always messes up. It's just not right. Like, if you did, you wouldn't even have made it to adulthood, right?
You wouldn't have got this far.
Yeah, that's it. And look, I'm surprised you got this far.
Yeah, and I'm too.
Some of the things you've done to yourself, which we're definitely not going to go into today on this stream at all, okay? So please, chat, don't encourage him. Not today, maybe another stream. I saw someone else coming. I think it was Paul. Hello, Paul. We're definitely not going to do that today. But these words... These words are things that we find ourselves doing all the time. And, you don't, there's so much going on each and every day, right? Just in general life, pay your bills, got to get up, got to have a shower, got to get out of bed, got to do all these things that sometimes it's really hard to monitor the words that you're constantly saying. And this is where, I think good friends come into place. I've had a lot of, now I'm sure you've had a lot of friends in your life, Brad.
Yeah.
And not all of
a small group that I've had forever. Like,
sure.
Yeah.
But not all of them. And I'm talking about, you have a small group and you have outsider group and then you have wider groups. But not all of these people are actually friends, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Because good friends, now, and it's really hard to take criticism sometimes too. Good friends will pull you up on this always and never shit. I've had friends before,
and you do it to me all the time. And even yesterday with Bender, it just started making me laugh and made me forget about my issues. So it's little things that good friends do to make you laugh that help you through something that's really traumatic and scary.
Or just be direct, right? I know. Yeah. I think a lot of people can't handle direct stuff. Like, I had some friends for a period of time who just, they're like yes men, right? Everything you say, nobody pulls you up on anything. And then I've had friends too that have said, just sat down out of the blue and gone, do you know that you say this negative thing all the time? You do this thing? And it's like, I'm sure there's people out there, and probably I would have been exactly the same. It's hard. You got to be in a place sometimes ready to take this on. We're not always in the right space to take this kind of feedback, but you always say this, and I'm so glad I listened because they were right. They were absolutely right, and those are the friends you got to hold on to, right? That you can. They'll say something like this and say it without venom, and say it without not trying to change you, but possibly they care enough to see that this is probably one of the reasons you're making poor decisions. And sometimes you can't see it yourself. This is why they have psychologists and all this stuff. Ask yourself, I say, is this actually true or is this an emotional reaction? Because this is the thing. Because of emotions, we do lash out and say this stuff. But most of the time it's not true. Like it's just this reaction, right? Oh, I can't do this. I'm always failing at this. And it's just not true. It's very black and white thinking.
Yeah, I do it to myself all the time. I'm terrible at it. Like it's constant with me, and I gotta always talk myself out of it. Like I can do this, I just have to relax, pay attention, go. I've done this before. I can find what I'm looking for. It's there. Like the amp designer. Today I struggled finding it, but I found it. I got the sound I wanted, and I was like, okay, I got it. I found it. I did it, but I had to come out here first, relax a little bit, and then go back in and say, okay, now I'm going to find the amp designer. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to push the button on the left. It's going to come up. I'm going to punch in amp designer. It's going to come up. And it did. And I found it, and I opened it, and I expanded it, and I figured out how to make it bigger, and I added more bass, and took out a little treble and added a little more mids and EQ'd it and talked myself into doing it after talking myself out of it for an hour. Like, I can't do this. I can't find this. I'm never going to find this. Like, I got to give up. But I came out, I relaxed, I went back, and I found it.
I got to give up. See, that's the stuff that we and like, for those of you who don't know, we're very close. We talk every single day. And I, as Brad's friend, try my best to help him with technical stuff, with like logic and all that. He's got me.
Roadcaster.
He's got this show on tap whenever he wants it. But I have to I've had to put a cap on it, right? Because you can't sit there and just feed whenever Brad's got a something.
I get tickets. I get so many tickets.
We did this for a while, right? And of course, this was a joke. It's not real, but it was me planting the seeds of the later version of where we're at now. As a joke, I introduce tickets and say, listen, Brad, you get 20 tickets a week. And every time you ask me for help, that's a ticket gone. And we did it for a little while, right? But the point of it was to eventually get him to realize that I'm just not there all the time. And he's most likely got the answer in his head already. It's just because you can fall into a trap of just going,
relying completely on somebody to just walk you through it all the time and get you through it. But when Jade would say to me, no, you know how to do this, just go back and start from the beginning, and you know how to do it, you'll figure it out. Just go back and start at the start and walk yourself through it, and you'll figure it out. And when she started doing that, I figured out, okay, well, now I know how to use the Roadcaster pretty good, better than I did when I started, even to the point where I can help her on a little bit, and I know a little bit enough to help somebody else.
It's really fascinating you say that, right? Because, I said to Brad should get a Roadcaster. It would help with his performances, and it has, right? His sound's got so much better.
1,000 times better.
And I'm not trying to sell him gear or anything like that. It's just from knowing him and seeing his setup and going, well, you bought this thing, but trust me, this one thing over anything else will make things so much better. And it has, right? But in saying that, when I suggested this, I knew what this meant for me. I knew what it meant for me. It meant work, right? But the thing is, again, I had to do this, limited amount of, all right, well, here's this, here's how you do this, here's how you do this, and no more. No, I'm not sitting here. But what's really fascinating, just so you guys know, so I found out that I had given Brad all this information, and during that time I got really short with him and really angry, because sometimes it gets frustrating, right? Explaining the same thing over and over again. But what I'd heard was Brad jumped on a call he was on a call with Ron, and basically all the things I helped him do, he was helping Ron with. So it was going inside. It was actually sticking enough for him to help Ron. But then the next day, he was back to me.
Need more help. I need more help.
I'm like, dude, you know this. I can't tell you how many times I've said that. But we're all guilty of it, right? You know things, and sometimes, you just want to get somebody to reaffirm that this is, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing here? Right. And normally it is very simple. You are doing the right thing. And if not, you're very close to it. But ultimately, with this stuff, even talking about music here, just try it. Just open the thing and try it. What are you going to... Just obviously don't do it in a project that you're currently working on. If you do something wrong, you're going to screw it up. Have a project open that you can try all these things with Logic. Make all the mistakes in that, right? This is simple stuff. And
Yeah, I made a duplicate today of the project that I'm working on this afternoon, and I tried everything with the duplicate, and I didn't touch the original one. I kept doing everything with the duplicate, and then when I finally figured it all out, I went back to the original copy and I recorded, and I got everything done I needed to get done. And I didn't mess it up by trying things with the original copy. I tried all the stuff with the duplicate copy. So, and I normally don't do that. That's something that's brand new to me. You know, I don't, like, you know, I don't save my projects. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So I doing a duplicate is a first for me.
oh, don't even start me on not saving your projects. I need to say a few hellos to people who've joined. Auntie G, hello. Russ, g'day. I'm sure I've missed somebody else who's come in here.
And congrats to Jamie Lynn. She got a promotion today.
Yay. Hit the button, Brad. Hit the button.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. Look at Brad. He's got the button. Brad's got the button. Isn't that amazing? Wow, Brad's got the button. Jenny says, speaking of the devil, Ron did a catastrophic earlier this week to the point that he thought he screwed everything up with the Rodecaster and then couldn't even turn it on. Calm back down now. See, this is the thing, and we all have those moments where you just go.
Same thing happened to me, Jenny. I thought it wouldn't power back on again. I did something wrong. I kept pushing the power button. It wouldn't turn back on again. But I got it. I paused. I had to reload an old show and then start from that show that I had saved. Once I got the micro SD card in the back, I saved a show. Like, I saved a set of settings. So I went back to that and then readjusted and then saved it again.
God done. Denise Lance says, I found having a psychology degree doesn't help me with my own issues. So true. You need feedback from other people that you trust. Yes, you need to trust these people. Not saving projects. Let's talk about that for a minute, just for a second. So if you don't know, what Brad does, very unique. He has an iPad and he's got two terabytes, 2 terabytes of space on his iPad. But he insists on every single song that he makes, once he's finished the project and he bounces it, has the video, and then releases the song through DistroKid, our sponsor today, 7% off, distrokid.com/VIP/Jade Starr.
Yeah. Everything through DistroKid.
He then deletes the entire project.
I like to have one project in my space. That's it.
Never to be able to go back and do like a remix or...
If I want to do it again, I think in my head, I'll just redo it. I'll just start over and redo it and play it again. That's what I'm doing with Poison Memories right now.
That's not the
I'm
point.
redoing Poison Memories with electric guitars, and I'm making it a little different.
That's not the point. It's not. I don't bring it up, right, because I think you should like have the exact version. But in case you want to do a remix of it or like send it to someone, just like. They just...
I know. There's many reasons why I should keep the project. Because sometimes people want a vocal, like they want one without the vocals or whatever.
How many times I've wanted to... I wish I had Little Bird so I could like get a copy of their vocals so I had a karaoke version. Right? There's so many reasons to have it there. And the thing is, you've got 2 terabytes. I think Brad's iPad at the moment has 2 terabytes and he's got like... I think he's got... 1.9 terabytes free.
I do.
I get it too, Tristan. I get it. And welcome aboard. He likes a clean slate. He likes to not have clutter. He's a very uncluttered person. And that's cool.
I don't even like to have photos on that iPad. So I've disconnected it from my iCloud so no photos go on it. So with my phone, I only let about 250 photos on it, and then I dump them onto a hard drive. And then I clean them all out so I have no photos. And then I dump them onto a hard drive. I start totally clean again. I get to about 250 photos, I dump them onto a hard drive, and I clean it all out again. I do that once every couple months.
But here's the interesting thing, and I know, we're focusing on Brad here. I'm more than happy to embarrass myself over anything, right? But here's the thing.
Well, you're just as bad. You get so frustrated and angry and yell and scream and bang on things and yell and yell and yell. But you get it out of your system.
That's it.
And me and Russ just sit back and we go, Jade, she's just having a fucking breakdown.
But
and
Russ
then
does the
she'll
same.
figure it out in 2 seconds.
Russ does the same
thing.
He loses it. Russ loses it.
Oh, no.
No, that's a totally different losing it. Right? But the thing is, I'll repeat, we've tried suggesting dumping things on an external hard drive. But here's where things are like so bizarre, right? Because Brad can't let go of like other things. Like, there's other things, right, where Brad just can't let go of. Like, he just can't let go no matter what we say. But letting go of a song like that, letting go of a project is so, to me is like absolute blasphemy. I couldn't deal with something like that. I need to know I have that project. And there's been times where I've lost a project and then gone back and there was a project from Metheus that I fully lost the whole project. And even to this day, I sit there going, far out, man, I still can't deal with that. And
I have a song that I recorded a long time ago, and I can't remember how to play it, and I can't find the song itself. It was done on this weird little machine that had like a CD burner in it, and I recorded this song called So Strange, and I wish I could remember it so that I could re-record it, because I loved the song. It was such a good song, and now I can't find it anywhere. And I can't remember how to play it. I can't remember the chords.
So would you say you work in absolutes? You think in absolutes?
Yeah, I think so.
Why?
I think so.
Why?
Because I don't want to be fickle about decisions I've made. Like, I want to be able to, I want to make a decision, stand behind it and say, I've done my best. It's time to move on. And so I try to just be decisive about it and not think about it, overthink it, and just be decisive and say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to move on. And that's it. I'm done.
I know Russ is laughing right now about overthinking things. You very rarely overthink things, do you, Brad? Riverbed Sims says, it helps me to remember that most of us humans are a bit head shy in some way. We carry a fear, a bit post-traumatic stress. Yes, we absolutely do care. Everyone, this is one of the problems with, I think, humanity overall. As a species, we have so much trauma passed down and passed down and passed down and passed down, and it's unresolved trauma. And, I know when you think of trauma, immediately you think of like being assaulted when you're young or anything like that. But it's so much more than that. There's so much like unresolved trauma. And when you have bloodlines just continuing to pass down unresolved trauma, you end up where we are now, right? Where we're in a place where we're so easily to control and feed things that bleed bleed into our trauma and expand it and
trigger it.
Trigger it. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks, Brad. But and the amount of words that are used just in let's move to this kind of subject, the power of words. Through people can think of conspiracies and all this stuff, but throughout history, those in control have been feeding us what they want to feed us, right? You've heard the old saying, television is called programming for a reason, right? It's all programming. It's meant to program
the opiate of the masses.
Exactly. And we're fed it through advertising, these words they use, and a lot of people are paid the big bucks to sit there and come up with these strategies of ways to manipulate through advertising, through the way news is delivered, to get to us, to get reactions and emotions from us.
That's why propaganda works so well.
Absolutely.
Like they've got it down to a science where they can make propaganda so effective that it makes a whole group of people, chant death to America or whatever, or stand behind genocide, or they'll stand behind it because the propaganda works so well that they just think we're doing the right thing. This is the right thing to do because I've been told it was the right thing to do, and I've been told over and over and over again, and I've been shown the pictures, and everybody says it's the right thing, so it must be the right thing, and it's not. It's not the right thing.
Yeah, and as people become aware of propaganda, right? Because through conversations like this and groups, when with the internet, people, when the internet first became a thing for us, which had already been a thing for those in control for a long time, and then they decide what kind of internet we get. But it did exactly what they thought it would do. It's opened up communication for us to talk about these things and discover, what's going on. So what's going to happen then is, propaganda's got to change, doesn't it? And here we are now with social media. Like, social media is not, for those of you who think it's a thing that's been developed for us to better our lives, it's actually just put the power onto us to propagate propaganda. We are the news source now these days, right? We get shown stuff and then we share it like we're news presenters. The news, you hear it all the time. People go, I don't watch the news anymore. Why do we need to? Because we are the ones sharing the propaganda. And it's at that point now with AI and stuff. And this is where all this language has come into play, how important language is and how to use it to manipulate people. And, we're already, do you smell good, Brad, now? Everything's...
Yeah, I just got this new cologne and I tried to put some on and it spilled all over my hands.
Well, as long as you smell good for the dogs there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right.
I found it was an ad on Facebook and I bought it. It was this cologne and I got suckered right into it. I got 2 bottles for $30. But it was like the advertising was so effective. I was like, buy now.
Right.
So I bought it. Right now it's called Goda. So the propaganda worked on me.
It plays into exactly what we're talking about. This is the thing.
Yep.
As soon as we talk about anything on this program, you open up your Facebook and it's going to be sitting there waiting for you. Absolutely, 100%.
Yep. Cardigans and colognes.
Yep, that is Brad's life, my friends. Cardigans and cologne. Seven Dust, hello to you. But language is super important. And this, the words, our brains, right? So I'm not a brain expert. I know how kind of mind works a little bit. I'm trying to study it and understand the things that the traps that I fall into and better myself. But the brain listens to both your spoken words and your internal dialogue, and words shape beliefs. Now, in saying that it listens to both our spoken words and our dialogue, it also listens to words that other people say, especially when our words are so negative. If we've fallen into holes where our words are so negative, then that helps us look towards other words and you've got to be very, very, very. I saw it here. I'm just trying to find where I saw it. Who wrote it? You've got to be very selective in what you look for in words, right? Where you get your information from, because somebody is always out there trying to deliver you some words, some information that is not always good for you, is it?
Yeah. There's a select few people that I will take their advice and heed their advice, and when they say something to me, it matters and I trust it. And then there are other people that say things to me and I just brush it off because I think, you know what, you don't know you don't know me, you don't know how I work, you don't know how I operate. So what you're saying, I'm just going to let it roll off me. I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to let it bring me down or make me overthink. Like, especially with lyric writing, I have a really hard time settling on what I want to say, And so when I hear other people with their advice, I don't take it unless it's somebody like you or Rusty or Dave, or, there's certain people that Dustin and Mikey, there are certain people that can tell me things that I'll listen to. But I won't let anybody just tell me what they think, because it affects me. I use that, it becomes bad self-talk in my head, and I end up crippling myself over it.
Well, you've got to have critical thinking. That's the word I was looking for before. You've got to have critical thinking, and you've got to wonder, when you're getting information, what is that person's agenda who's giving you this information? Because everybody's got some form of agenda that they're trying to get, that they, especially when things are free, like social media, right? When it turns out, that you end up being the product with a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things that are free, you end up being the product, and the point of it is that they're going to send you advertising, and you may get. So you've got to know you've got to be able to be a super sleuth these days to try and work out why am I getting this information from this person?
Yeah.
But your vocabulary and other people's become a mental instruction book. Can't, right? These are words that can't, should, impossible, failure. These are things that are so thrown around. Can't is such a terrible word. Like, obviously there are things you can't do. Like, obviously I can't tomorrow board a spaceship and go to the moon. That's logical, right? But things that I can control, a lot of the time we say can't for things that you can control very easily. And for some reason, we've gone down this path, this negative think speak. Ooh, there I use that word, think speak. It's a thing that was in a very famous movie. And look, there's just a lot of bad actors out there trying to give you bad information. Why? Why do they give us bad information, Brad?
I don't know. I think they want to see you fail. People, especially if you're succeeding, people want to bring you down to where they are, so they don't feel so inadequate. So if you're marching towards progress and you're finding your way through the wilderness of things that are hard, learning how to use Logic or learning how to use a Rodecaster or learning how to stream, and people are trying to bring you down to their ability or what they're capable of, so that you don't surpass them and make them feel inadequate because they're learning at a slower pace than you or something. They just want to bring you down. They don't want to see you succeed. And the more you succeed, the more people start popping up that want to bring you down, 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 down.
Of course, because it's an economy. If you succeed, you don't need their help anymore. That is the economy of failure, the economy of negativity, to keep you coming back. It's like with gear and stuff like that. It's like with compression and all these things. Hey, there's a new compressor. It does the exact same thing as the last compressor, but it keeps you tied up not making things because look, compression is one of the things that constantly comes up that people go, I don't understand compression. And you know what? Because it's this thing that people put out there with every tutorial that comes out. It always starts with, now I know a lot of people don't understand compression. So they seed you this thing that you're still not going to understand it because they want you to not understand it. People want you to fail. People want you to be in this. So their economy is this help model. But let me tell you one thing, because there's some people out there that actually don't want you to fail. They want to help you. They want to definitely help. Just if I can get my shit together here. Where are we? You can come over here. Let me close this down. Where are we here? And we want to go, man, that was going to be such a good segue. It just didn't work. There are some people, my files that decided to die, because there are some people out there who don't want you to fail. They want you to release your best music, and that is DistroKid, and I'm going to tell you about that right now with this pre-recorded video. Let's Oj. This presentation is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. Introducing DistroKid, your ultimate music distribution solution. For just $29.99 a year, DistroKid empowers you to release unlimited tracks on all major music platforms worldwide, including Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, and so many more. Plus, use my link distrokid.com/VIP/JadeStarr and get 7% off your first year. You'll also keep 100% of your royalties and gain access to valuable tools like instant verification on Spotify and detailed revenue analytics. Don't let your music go unheard. Join DistroKid today and take your music career to the next level. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring today's presentation. Yes, of course. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring today's show. And look, signing up to DistroKid and using their services does not guarantee that you are going to be successful. They give you the tools to help you, right? But it's all up to you, right? It's up to you to make your music, put out there. They are a vehicle to help you get your music out to people. How you do that is up to you, but they do give you an incredible amount of tools to do so, which is awesome. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring the show.
Like DistroVid, they do DistroVid now, and they have lyrics and everything you can upload. Like DistroKid is really monopolizing the distribution game. It's socialized it so that you don't need to go, like back when I was making records with the Surfers, you had to go through a distributor. So we had Universal Records distribute our album. So you had to find a big distributor that was going to put your record in the stores all across the country, you know? And now, because people use Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer and all these other Pandora and all these other music streaming platforms, TikTok, Facebook, you know, all these places, DistroKid just puts it, it's all there. And it's so easy. It's unbelievably easy. And I've tried other streaming services, other distribution services, and they're not nearly as easy to use as DistroKid is.
That's awesome. Thank you for not naming those either, because we can't do that.
No.
So examples of changing, resetting, because this is about resetting stuff, right? And it is just, it's easy to say this kind of stuff, how to do this, right? But to put it into practice like anything is super hard. But it's the opposite. Everything is the opposite. So I can't do this. I haven't figured it out yet. I failed. I learned something, right? Because failure leads to learning. This is the thing. This is terrible. This needs improvement. It's only a matter of shifting words around, right? The word yet is incredibly powerful because it keeps the door open. You know, and
I agree with you, and I think it's very helpful because, and I used it today. Like I did some vocals, and I thought these are okay for now. I can do them better. I will do them better later. So they're good enough for now. Not yet. I'll get them better later. And, you know, if you just shut yourself out and say they suck and I'm finished with it and I'm just going to leave it at that, then you give up and fail. And you never learned anything. You're not going to improve. You're not going to try again and do better. You don't know where, you know, when you're listening to it, you hear, okay, this part, and this part are the weaker parts I need to strengthen when I do it again.
Yes, because possibilities are, you hear these people say, endless possibilities. Only as endless as you allow yourself, as you allow them to be, because here's the thing, right? We talk about social media and like Facebook Messenger and all these things that they're always listening to us and we see ads pop up. Well, guess what? Your brain is always listening as well. And it's always listening to the story that you're telling yourself. It's constantly on. Your brain is Alexa. It's sitting inside your head waiting to hear these prompts. And if you're going to sit there and feed it full of dog shit, then it's going to come out with dog shit stories. And there's no way to change that. But trust me, I'm not sitting here saying like we've got all the answers. Anybody's got all the answers. But I believe that just changing the order of words and replacing words, you can get through things. And, you know, it's okay if you can't get some things done. This is the thing, right? You're not always going to succeed. You're not always going to succeed, but it's not an absolute. I couldn't get this thing. See, that's it. That's what I'm trying to change my mind from. I can't get this thing done. I couldn't get it done, right? So, but that's okay. Like these things happen, but it's not worth beating yourself up about. Like this week, I'm still sitting here on Unearthed. I don't know if it's going to be out by this week or not. And if it's not, I don't mind having a break. Because in doing Unearthed for me, I've been falling behind
with a lot of work.
I'm falling behind with app reviews because it's 3 days of work that's taken out of my life. So it's actually good that I actually have all the songs ready to go. It's all made. But it's just, do I really want to get it finished? And I don't need to, right? It's another thing. And it's not going to hurt.
That's the one thing that the doctor said to me when I first started going to see a psychologist, an actual shrink, a psychologist about my eating disorder. The first thing he said to me was, stop beating yourself up about it. Because I was always thinking like I should be eating like other people. Why am I not like other people? And he said, stop beating yourself up about it. That people in China live on rice. You can live on what you eat. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. And I kept that mantra in my head all these years, and I stopped making excuses for it, stopped feeling bad about it, stopped. I am who I am, and that's it. And I'm okay with it now.
Sorry, I muted to let you talk. Another thing too is stuff like
it's the same as you. Like if you can't get Unearthed done, don't beat yourself up about it. No. Just let it go by. Enjoy your time off, and then the next one's going to be even better.
Yeah, look, sometimes you need to have a break, right? And just
gotta have a break.
Step away
and you especially because you overwork yourself,
of course,
way too much.
But we sit there, even me doing this show for what 5, coming on 6 years now, right? I've seen throughout the years people in chat or in comments going, I don't understand, I'm stupid. It's like, no, you're far from stupid. And it's not that you don't understand, right? It's just you're not allowing yourself to understand. You're not allowing yourself to try to make mistakes. That's why I say mistakes make you better. Like you've got to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like I've had people say to me, oh, you know so much about apps. I don't. I actually don't. I know nothing. I know as much as the next app. I don't know what the next app's going to be, but the one thing that you can be absolute on with apps and like software and plugins and making music. Hello, Gary Hubbs as well, and thank you for sharing and lurking as well.
Hubsy.
The one absolute I can talk about apps is they're pretty much all the same. Once you understand the basics of like a synthesizer, right, and understand an LFO and an envelope and these kind of things, every single synthesizer has them. Right? It's just, where are they in this particular app? It's like a guitar sim, right? Everything's got a preamp, your volume. It's got your EQ in there. All this stuff. A distortion pedal's got a distortion. Everything's got its place. Drums have its parts of the kit. Everything's all there. It's just, where is it? Where is it in this new framework that I'm looking at? That's the hardest part. Navigating this interface. And if you can train your brain to think about that with apps, you will win. You would be so much more ahead. Understand the basics of exactly what these little components do, and you will see that they're in every single app. They're just coded. It's got a different wrapper on them. And it's not really that hard. And the thing is, if it is really that hard, do you really need to use it? Yeah. This is the thing.
And you're good at it. You're good at learning things on the fly. So the night before you open it and you figure it out, and then you prepare and you make something for the next day, and you have like a system that works for you that helps you teach people how to use the apps. And that's why so many developers often write you after and say, thank you for showing off my app the way you did. You touched on things that other people didn't touch on. And it means a lot to these developers that make these apps that you show us how to use to make us decide whether we want it or not, or can use it or not. It's interesting to hear, Leela and Russ and everybody talk about which apps would work for them and which ones won't.
Yeah, exactly. Russ talks about this, and thank you, Brad. Russ talks about this all the time. He'll watch one of my videos, and if nothing resonates with him, he can't hear a sound in that particular app that he could make something with, then he's not interested in it. It's as simple as that. That's the whole purpose of the show. But in saying that, right?
Apps aren't Pokemon, and you say it every show, and that's why. Because you want to get the apps you're going to use. Like I use Mixbox like constantly. I love Mixbox. I love Xbox. I love Arteta, the Reverb. I think it's called Arteta. There's so many apps that I have. There's so many Four Pockets apps that I love. But I don't collect every app. I only get the ones I know I'm going to use.
True. And the thing is,
like Rhino and Mammoth, those ones I really like.
Well, I used to sit here and sweat for 2-3 days learning how to do something. But again, this is what we're up to now. Once you get into that cycle of understanding, like a drum synthesizer a sequence is going to have a sequence in it. It's going to have time divisions. Like this ain't rocket science. This is the same thing with a different skin over and over again, just with a different flavor because it's made by somebody else and they're trying to take it So these days, I don't spend that much time learning something. It is normally the night before. And it's normally an hour or so just sitting there playing with it. And you understand, right? Because you see the consistencies, the similarities between the apps. Yeah. Not saying that all the apps are the same. So if you're a developer, I'm not saying all your apps are the same. But there are things that make up a synthesizer, right? There are things that make up a distortion pedal. And that's
the projects that you make out of it are always amazing. They always sound great. And they always show off the app that you're talking about. And it's a matter of telling yourself that you can do it and you will do it and you are doing it. And there's no negative self-talk that's getting in the way of you not creating a project in AUM with this new app that you just opened and just learned. And now you're making something really great out of it. Look at the song that came out of it with Denise. Like, just incredible the things you can make out of little snippets.
Yes. Pete says, organized education made many of us scared to experiment. We're often scared to be wrong, so we don't try. There's always multiple ways to get stuff done. Yes, 100%. Yeah. This is absolutely true. And the thing is, with learning stuff, right, and learning new things, the only reason I go over stuff and say, here's where this is and here's where, because hopefully it's going to stick. These are the things that are in a synthesizer. Because at the end of the day, when you open up Logic, the same stuff is in there, like the same LFOs, the same envelope followers. They're all in every synthesizer. So this is, it's repeatedly drumming this stuff in. It's just, hey, you might want a different flavor of synthesizer, and that's okay. Yeah. Or you may not. We live in days where we have all the things that we need inside a door, and it's not that hard. It really isn't that hard.
Well, look at with me in Logic. I bought Logic, and it took me a year before I opened it. A whole year before I opened it. And I paid for it. I paid for that year, and I didn't even open it. I was so scared of it. I was so scared to even try it. Even though I watched all your videos, I watched all Pete's videos, I watched as many videos as I could, and I was still like too scared to open it. When I finally did, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I ended up getting used to it quicker than I thought I would. And I just kept telling myself, you can do this. It's not that hard. You'll find what you need if you just keep looking, keep pushing buttons. You're going to fail. You're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn from them. You're going to go back and you're going to know where they are later. And it's just, you just keep building that little bit at a time until you build confidence. And it took me a long time to build that confidence up.
I hope you're listening to yourself right now.
I am. I'm trying.
This is the reason I've got Brad on here today, not only to talk to you, all of you, But as well, so the thing is, all right, I believe saying this stuff out loud as to yourself really helps. Like, but you've got to listen. You've got to actually acknowledge that you're listening at the time you're saying this stuff. Hello also to Pole Vault and Hugh Caldwell. Right, hope you're both doing well. Because you are actually. This is the thing. I say this to Brad all the time. Right. You are learning this stuff, right? Even us talking about this, your brain's actually taking it in. It's just the learned patterns of saying, no, I can't. No, I didn't learn it. I'll have to go back and do it again. I'll have to watch it again. I'll have to watch it again. And it's like, only because you keep telling yourself you have to keep watching it again.
Yeah.
So resetting and replacing harsh self-talk. This is one of the hardest things.
Slowly learning, but you learn and you gradually move up the ladder and you gradually get better. And, some people move quickly and learn quickly and make big leaps, and other people just move incrementally and learn in small steps, but you're still learning. You're still going to get there in the end. And at the end of the day, the song is going to come out and it's going to be as good as you can make it, the best you can do.
Yes, indeed. And learning it feels like learning has become a really dirty word on this planet. Like that nobody wants to learn it feels like that as a teacher anyway. Like, and I'm sure in schools, like we see this in the political environment that is politicizing school and education, that learning seems to be a bad thing. Like you're only supposed to learn about one side of things. You're not allowed to get an overall view of everything. But learning is the only way to get better, right?
I know a few people that are know-it-alls, and they drive me crazy. Not anywhere in their vocabularies. I don't know. Maybe I should look into it more. They're absolutists. They're right, and they know this is that I'm right, and I know the answer, and that's that. And they don't have in them that maybe I'm wrong. They don't have that in them at all, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, some people are assholes, aren't they? Like two types of people on this planet: assholes and not assholes. Harsh inner voices. This is the stuff you say. Well, you don't even speak it out loud sometimes, but sit there and say, "You idiot."
Yeah.
That was stupid. You ruined everything. These are, I'm just pulling random words out here. Instead of reacting instantly, we don't pause enough. And this is by design, right? This is the thing, right? And it's not like that it's not always your fault that we don't pause or we don't stop to smell the roses. Because of the world that we live in too, and as we talked about, the way the world or the powers that be have used us as science experiments to find out how to manipulate us to, get what they want, because everybody's got some kind of agenda to get what they want. This is the whole concept of throwing so much stuff at you that there is no time to pause for a moment, to think, to just take stock for a moment, to go, maybe I shouldn't do this thing. If you keep throwing things at people, people are destined to make poor decisions, and this comes down to like your own self-thoughts, the negativity and stuff, because you go to a place that is quick and it's a quick fix, and it feeds your emotions, and you throw this stuff out, and you don't have time to just take that moment to go, whoa, I was unable to do that. I should keep trying. I can actually do this, but no. And
I'm really bad for that. The self-talk in my head is really bad. I often just tell myself, just in recording and in life in general, I can't do it. And look how long it took me to finally agree to get a hip replacement. Like
which you still haven't done.
Said, well, I'm in the process of it now.
Good.
I had a doctor's appointment day before yesterday, and we talked about it. And I'm just waiting for the surgeon to call, so it could happen at any moment. Like the doctor's gonna call me at any moment. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen in short order. Like once he calls, it's gonna be boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna be in and out of there, and it's gonna happen fast. So I'm just waiting for the surgeon to call now. But it took me years to get to that point where I talked myself out of it so many times, like, it's not going to work. It's going to hurt worse. I'm going to be in more pain. It's, until I finally gave up and said, I need it. I need it now. Like, I can't live like this. I can't support myself on my left leg anymore. So I need my left leg done so I have something to support myself.
The risk is worth it, I think. Like,
Yeah.
Can it get
and
any
look,
worse?
and I started working out. I started getting my upper body
show
strength
everyone
more
your muscles.
so that I could get Mr. Puniverse. I'm going for the Mr. Puniverse championship, just so I can at least learn to walk again once my hip is replaced. So, and that was the whole point of me starting to work out a little bit, so that I could get a little bit upper body strength, so I could hold myself up and learn to walk again.
So we're talking about resetting today, and look, I don't expect anybody to walk away from this and be just instantly reset, but it is, like Pete says, a work in progress. If you're able to talk about this stuff and verbalize it and get it out there, then that's the beginning of it, right? And again, I have no answers. I can only talk from my personal experience, and Brad is the same. We don't have answers, but these are the things that if you don't talk about this stuff, then it just continues, right? And nobody wants that.
It festers, and it festers in you, and it makes you feel useless and like you're not good at it, and you're not going to learn how to do it, and and it's like I said to Ron last night. I said, hey, I've only got 3 shows left, and then that slot is open. So you got to get ready and get into that slot. As soon as I'm done, that's the slot for you. So Ron was like, oh yeah, that's a good kick in the ass to get there, so that when you're done, then I can take that slot. So, if you talk yourself down, you'll never get to that end point where you're ready to go. And, there's a lot of people in our community, I think, that have self-doubt and are self-critical and don't get as much done as they could because they're constantly talking themselves out of it,
Yes, indeed. And I try to have a method for it. I try to pull myself up on negative thoughts. It doesn't always work. A lot of the time it still doesn't. But I'm getting definitely better at it, at hearing it in my head first and then going, what? Don't even verbalize. Why? And try and replace it with constructive stuff. Like, I say yesterday I was really going on about, I can't get this unearthed done. I'm not going to get it done. I'm not going to get it done. And was using it like this negative thing. Like, why am I rushing to get it done? What is the world going to miss it? Is this an earthquake? Is this going to change people's life? It's not. If I don't have that show up by tomorrow, who gives a shit? Really, it's just a show that's not going to be there tomorrow. But guess what? There's plenty of other shows that are on later on. It's really not that important. I'm sponsoring this one, so I'm not losing any money from it. So it's nothing to do with that. But harsh voices. Let's just talk, for example, some stuff. I've only got a few examples here. I've got the biggest example sitting next to me. Replacing words. I'm useless.
Yeah.
That didn't go well. Maybe I'll do it again. Now, the thing is, like, for example, that one there, I'm useless, or that didn't go very well. I'll try that again. We're already doing that, right? When you do a vocal take in a door, we're doing that all the time. That didn't sound good, do it again. That didn't sound good, do it again. These things we're actually already doing. It's just like taking them from that door situation and putting it into the living situation because, and of course, there's things out of our control too that we have no control over, and somehow we blame ourselves for it, even things that somebody else has made some situation happen, and that creates you going, oh man, I can't seem to. That's a thing that really is an easy thing to change. That's an easy one to change. Harsh voice. I'm terrible at mixing. What would be a replacement for that? What would be a replacement, Brad?
I can do this. I just got to settle down and work at it and do it and make it and do it to the point where in my ears, it sounds great. I like the way it sounds in my ears. You can't compare it to anybody. You can't judge it against somebody else. You have to just sit with it and go, this sounds good to me right now. I like the way this sounds. I'm happy with it. I'm just going to stick with it and put it out. And if somebody else likes it, awesome. If nobody likes it, well, at least I gave it my all.
One of the sniff tests, right, for telling yourself negative shit is what I found really helpful is to ask yourself, if you're able to take that moment to stop and just take a breath, is, would I say this to a friend?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right? That's one I've been trying for a few months. Would I say this to somebody who I care about? And if the answer's no, then you really shouldn't be saying it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because, you're gonna lose friends with saying shit like, you're an idiot. Like, you just wouldn't say that. Like, well, I don't know. With Russ, we probably would, because he says that kind of stuff to us all the time. And sometimes we do that to you and gang up on you, don't we?
Yeah.
So this is the thing, right? Brad,
bend it like Beckham.
Brad sometimes thinks that we're ganging up on him, right? And we're being mean. But part of the reason we're doing it is we're trying to make him laugh, to get him off this negative bender that he goes on. See how I put it in there really casually? Because Brad can talk himself, this is why I've got him on here. Brad can talk himself into such a spiral from nothing, from absolutely zero, something that is so small. For example, right, when he was coming here to Australia, he had booked the tickets something like 3 months in advance. And he was fully 3 months before it happened going, oh, what if I get to the airport late? It's like, dude, it's 3 months away. Why are you programming yourself to think this? Why are you putting these seeds into your head? Right? And it was the same as when you left. For those of you who don't know, Brad came here to Australia. He stayed here for 3 weeks, right? We did all this really cool stuff. And then on the day he left, he didn't say goodbye to me. He snuck out. He snuck out the door at 3 a.m. and no goodbye. And I woke up to him gone. And I'm like, who does that, right? And his thing was, but I don't like to say goodbye. But it wasn't that at all. It actually wasn't that. I've worked out what it was. He had talked himself into believing that he was going to miss his flight.
Yeah.
Even though
I thought I had to get there early, and
and
it's also I didn't want to say goodbye. It was so hard because I love you so much, and it was such a wonderful time, and I was so happy, and you were so gracious to let me stay at your house. And no, it's true.
No,
and I was almost in tears when I left. I was just like, I don't want to leave. I want to stay.
Yeah,
like it was just. Because it was so awesome, and it was just we had such a great time, and
it ended so horribly.
It was hard.
It was ended so horribly. Hello, Justine. Hello, Sean Chandler. But the thing was, I witnessed it the night before. I watched you look up the flight, right, and go, "Oh, they've changed my flight to a later time."
Yeah.
But you still didn't believe it somehow, and you still got there, wanted to get there early just in case, and it was like there was no chance you were going to get an early flight. I was like, dude, man, you're so funny. You make me laugh so much.
I do that. I'm bad for that. Like I talk myself into a spiral, and I convince myself of things that I'm incapable of, and I do it. I'm bad for it. I do it all the time, and I have very low self-confidence and low self-esteem, and even though I don't really, I get up and play naked, that takes a lot of self-esteem and a lot of confidence, but in the little things like working, making music and recording songs and writing lyrics and doing all that stuff, I talk myself down so much that I feel like I suck and I just shouldn't do it at all. I should just stop because I suck so bad. But it's that internal self-talk that gets me trapped, and it pulls me down, keeps pulling me down.
Yeah.
And I'm just bad for it, you know. But I have people like you that tell me that, you know, you're really good and keep going and you're on the right track. And look at how far you've come with the Roadcaster, and look at how far you've come with Logic. And you help kind of talk me out of those spirals that give me confidence that I go, yeah, Jade's right. I can do this. I know I can do this.
That and the ticket system, and now I've just cut you off completely like a drug addict.
Yeah.
So, like I said before, folks, whenever Brad messages me now, when was it recently? It was
during a live show. I asked, "Is the sound okay?" And you pretty much said "F off," and that was it. And I was like, "Well, I'm not sure if it sounds good, but if she's not saying it's bad, then it must be okay." So I'm, you know, like basically telling me you know enough about your Roadcaster to know if it sounds bad. Like, come on.
Stop asking me. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Hello, Professor Boomer as well, too. Yeah, and there's got to be a point, right, where I just tell you to piss off and go work it out yourself. I don't care anymore. I don't have the time, right? Because you actually know, and you've got the tools to work it out yourself. Right, yep. This is the thing, right? For those of you who don't understand, when you're live streaming, right, and you're gonna go live, I see this all the time. No, I'm just saying, not in our community. I see this on Twitch and other places. People start their stream and then sit there going, "Is my sound okay? Am I coming through okay?" Listen, every single thing that you stream through gives you the ability to test that for yourself. There's a little record button in StreamYard. There's a little record button in OBS. And you can just hit record and record yourself going do da 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 and playing the music and doing it all. And then you can hear it for yourself, and then you can change the settings before you go live. That is such a tiny thing to be aware of, and it takes away this little thing that you keep doing of relying on asking the audience on if it's okay. You don't need to do it. It makes you kind of look like you don't know what you're doing. Very small thing, and it gives you back the power to not have to rely, because here's the thing, right? When you're live streaming, there's like an 11-second delay. And when you ask somebody, "Is this okay?" and then you sit there waiting, and then you change a setting, people have already been writing in the chat, "Everything's okay," but you've changed the setting. And this is how you get into a loop of trying to match the chat. But seriously, you have the ability to test these things before you go live, right? And not ask that question. It's a small thing, and it gives you power to take control of your live stream and not put the power in other people's hands and ask other people, "Is this okay?" Because you don't know who's watching, right? There's people out there who don't want to tell you that it sounds bad because they don't want to be negative. And there's some people who don't know how to tell you that it sounds bad, and they come off sounding like arseholes. And there's so many variations of answers that can come back to you. The best way is to do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
Replace the need to do that by sorting it out yourself. We kind of had our last kind of section here. We're going to finish a little bit early today, I would suggest. But the reason we're doing this is not to tell people how to do things or admonish you or make you feel small or anything like that. But it's just to start a conversation, because I believe that growth and encouragement is a good thing, and getting this stuff out. What do they say about farts, pole vault? If you're still here, they're better out than in, right? There's this really good channel I've started following on YouTube, and this is really, what's it called? Check this out, guys. This will really help you. This channel will really help you guys. It's called Super Stupid Poop. And if you're not subscribed to Super Stupid Poop, you should be, right? Because what this guy does, all of his videos, he just films himself in environments where he just farts in front of people. He just lets it out, and he just looks straight into their face and farts right in front of them and just waits for a reaction. Because it's better to have it out than in. And people's reactions are very, very funny to see how people react to just letting it out and just, it's such, people are so horrified, and it's just a fart. It's just a fart, folks. And it's better for you to get it out, right? And sometimes you're just looking people's. I don't know why I bought that, but no, seriously, you should check out this channel if you.
It is fun.
If you want to have a laugh and take your mind away from all this kind of stuff, take your mind away from all this kind of going around in your head and, all this kind of stuff. You should have other outlets to think of it instead of like questioning yourself all the time. But building a positive, creative mindset. So we're going to wrap this up. Creativity requires permission to be imperfect. Oh, good Lord, man. Perfection does not exist. And if you're chasing it...
perfection is the enemy of good and finished.
Yeah.
Perfection is just... If you're striving for perfection, you're never going to finish anything.
And I've had people say to me, but there's heaps of songs you don't finish. Listen, if I had all the time in the world to finish music and do all of this, I would be doing it. Trust me. Do I care anymore about finishing songs? Not really. I just don't care. The problem is I don't have time to care about it because YouTube, this takes up all my time because I've got to pay my bills, right? So that's the thing. But imperfection is awesome. It's so good. Imperfection is so good. It's why
it's all the mistakes on Sticky Fingers and like any of the Rolling Stones records that I absolutely love that make me love them even more. And I like the little like when I do because I always double my vocals. I like the little discrepancies in each take. I like the little shifts, like one word is just a little off from the other word, and I like those little imperfections in there. And when I'm finger picking, if I'm not smooth all the way through, that's fine. There's little things that make it stand out, and I like all that stuff. It adds character, and it adds like a humanness to it that isn't so rigid,
And how many relationships end because of people seeking perfection from their other half? Like, you don't always know what you're getting into in a relationship, right? But it's those, I find with relationships, it's those imperfections that I kind of like, I'm excited to discover, right? Because nobody is perfect. And I know I'm not perfect by any stretch. They're absolutely beyond... nowhere near perfect. But so many relationships fall apart when people are continuously trying to perfect somebody and portray what they think this person should be, how they want them to be perfectly for them. And it's like, no, that's not going to happen. To put on an outlay of what you deem perfect for this person to be, it causes resentment, right? It literally destroys relationships. And instead of embracing those imperfections as like, that's it, the world is imperfect. Great artists produce lots of material that never gets released. This is so true, right? You look at bands like Metallica, you wouldn't believe the amount of great bands that have troves and troves and troves of stuff that they never, ever release. This is how
Prince has a vault of it.
Yeah.
Tom Petty has vaults of it.
Gene Simmons does too. He actually released a thing called The Vault, which was a literal vault, which had all this music that he'd never released. The problem was, it shouldn't have been released because it was absolute garbage.
There was some stuff on there I like.
Dude. Garbage.
I'm a fan.
And he was charging something like $2,000.
No, it was more than that. It was like $5,000 or $6,000.
The highest tier was $15,000, and he would literally bring the vault to your house and physically assault your children while he was there.
No kidding.
$15,000 invite Gene Simmons in to touch up your 16-year-old daughter while he plays and he slimes your mum in the kitchen. Terrible stuff. Gene Simmons, go away. On another note, did you see Gene Simmons released a a video this week telling musicians to shut up about their political views.
Oh, wow.
And the comments, man, the comments, you have to see the video just for the comments. And everybody's like writing, so do we do this after you stop doing it? I recall him hanging out with Donald Trump recently, but whatever, man. You do you, boo. That's great stuff. Replace perfectionism with progress thinking. Pete Johns talks about it all the time. Work in progress, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, practice makes progress.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't make perfection; it makes progress. You're going to get better, right? You're only going to get better at anything like music, production, dealing with your mind, making life decisions, all this kind of stuff. It's never going to be perfect. You're going to get knocked back a peg or two, and that's good, right? Because it gives you something to keep. Imagine how shit life would be is if you just knew everything.
Yeah.
What is the point of living? Like we're constantly seeking all these answers.
It's like those people that I know that are absolutely sure they know it all.
Yes.
And it drives me friggin' crazy. Just say you don't know. Say you don't know. Say, I got to look this up. I got to learn this. Just say it. Don't say you absolute. There's no absolutes. Say, I don't know. I got to check. Let me look it up.
But there's a lot of people who use this with science now. People who go, yeah, but science got it wrong. Yeah, but the whole point of science is to upgrade as you learn more and change the like, that's the thing. Nothing is absolute in science. It's like we once thought it was this
theories.
Thing. Exactly, right? And I love people who argue and go, yeah, but science is just full of theories. It's like, yeah, that's the point. I know your peanut
That's what
brain.
we know to this point.
Exactly, right? And you should be able to adapt and take on new things and learn. There's that word again, learn. It is all hypothesis, yes? It's all just theory. It's all just guesswork from the information that you have at hand. Like anything, like, logic, like learning a door. The information that you have at hand, the videos you watch are going to inspire what you do. If you sit there and continuously watch videos on compression each and every day and sit there at the same time, finish watching it and go, I still don't understand compression. Maybe you should open up a compressor and just use it. And
try it.
See how it works, like experience it, because all the different ways of explaining it don't always work, right? Examples of this. This is a draft. This is practice. I'm improving. Terms like this. I'm a musician. I'm a creator. I run a YouTube channel. How to describe ourselves in shapes or identity and confidence. Right? What are you? What do you do?
Yeah.
What instead of like, I dabble in music. No, you're a musician. It doesn't matter what skill level you're at.
When people ask, I say I'm a songwriter. That's what I am. I am a songwriter. I write songs. That's what I do.
Just because you're at a different level to somebody else, like this comparison world that we live in, just because you're at a different level doesn't make you any less of a songwriter, right? But hopefully you want to get better in your own time. You don't
always.
Instead of be somebody else, right? So, confidence comes into it. Like confidence comes from changing these words, rewriting the way you express yourself. Like we got
to reprogram that bad self-talk, reprogram it so that you're telling yourself that you're going to learn, you're going to get better, it's going to turn out fine in the end. It's going to be good, and you're going to be happy with the end result.
The whole point of this today is about replacing words, right? So problem, man, problem child. You got songs about being a problem child. Is it a problem or is it a challenge, right? Yeah. It's all how you look at it. And it sounds easy, right? Or I replace, I have to do this thing, or I'll get to it. I will get to it. Trust me, that just like when you make music and you think, if I don't get this out in time for this, everybody's going to be disappointed. Who's going to be disappointed? Who seriously is going to be disappointed? You, because not everybody's sitting around waiting for you to release things, to put things out there. They're actually not. right? You're going to disappoint yourself, but it's okay, right? It's the same with me talking about unearthed. I'll get to it next week, whatever. Negative phrases we use every day and reshape it. Have to, get to, problem, change, can't, can, all this kind of stuff. Opportunity. It's an opportunity. See, a problem is an opportunity.
Good one.
It
Nice
definitely
one,
is.
Boomer.
Opportunities pop up all the time. Opportunities.
Yeah.
Right. It's like last year, I went to the doctors and they told me I'd at some point had a small heart attack. And instantly my brain went, oh no. But the doctor, instead of like sitting on it, said, well, this is an opportunity for us to look at your heart and see how we can strengthen your heart. I swear to God, I love this doctor I have at the moment. She's a cardiologist. And every time I see her, I walk out there feeling like if she's found a problem, it's not a problem because of the way she frames everything. She makes me walk out wanting to like, oh, there is a solution. I have another GP, right? And every time I go to her and she finds a problem, she dwells on it and goes, oh, this is going to be a really hard fix and we're going to have, and it's like, but why does the other doctor frame it differently every time and instead make it feel like this is changeable? And you know what? When I was going to the one GP who was framing everything like it was a problem compared to this new one, every single thing that has cropped up has improved. My cholesterol, gone. The early stages of kidney failure, gone. Improved. All these things just improved. And I swear it was from the way she framed things. So language is so important. And that's why we're here, right? Why we're talking about language, because it is super important. In this community too, there's a lot of us who build everybody up, right? You see it in the chat all the time. This is great. Well done. This is fantastic. But it may not be the best song on the planet's face because you can't like everything. That's impossible. But the encouragement it keeps people going. Hopefully,
to get better and make something better next time.
But that's the tricky part, right? With encouragement, there's got to be a form of like, this could be better, right? That you could actually learn too, instead of just this is the top tier. It's unbelievable. You can't get any better than this. Well, you always can, right? Yeah. There's always opportunity, always opportunity.
Yeah. Opportunity to get better and make a better song next time, make a better production next time, make a better collab next time, make a better video next time, make a better vocal track, make a better bass track, make a better keys track, make a better drum track. There's always opportunity to make something better and write a better song. The next time you sit down with your pen and a pad and your keys or your guitar, you can always write a better song next time. But even if that comes 3 or 4 down the road, write through the shit too. So finish, like when you start a song, finish it and finish even the shitty songs, because the 3rd or 4th one is going to be the good one. It's not going to be the first one you write. It's going to be the 3rd or 4th one down the line. That's why all these bands have all these songs on the back burner, or they record 40 songs for an album that they're only going to release 10 songs on. They pick the 10 best songs and put it on the record, and the rest of them are left on the cutting room floor. They're not all going to be great. There's just, you're going to have 1 or 2 that's great, and then the rest are going to be okay.
Yes, and this came from my rant. What was it? Was it the songwriting rant I did? Hey, it's okay not to release every song that you make. It's okay. Yeah. Like nobody's going to give a shit, right? And you never know. Putting it on the back burner sometimes and revisiting it can be one of the best things for that song. And like again, it's not important to get songs out for other people, for a particular show or for this kind of date. If it needs more time, it needs more time, baby. Give it more time. People used to write songs and take, 3 years to release an album to try and put together the best songs, the songs that actually have an impact, because not every song is going to be good, right? Track your progress too. Try and track your progress. Notice if you're going to try any of this stuff, changing the words, how they actually affect your mood, how it actually affects your energy and your actions. And if you see change,
your productivity. Yeah, your attitude, your productivity, celebrate it.
Celebrate it. Absolutely. Right. This is the thing too. We don't celebrate our successes anywhere near enough just for ourselves. It's nice having people tell you, oh, that was really good. But, do something nice for yourself if you feel that the changes are happening. You're getting benefits from these things. Another thing, lastly, let's talk about this. Eliminate fucking idiots from your life. It'll eliminate negative people, eliminate gossip and negative talk, poison, anything that's going to poison your mindset. People who are telling you that you constantly suck, right? You can have friends like we do where we bag Brad all the time, but it comes from a place of total love. Like the things, put it this way, the things we say on Clubhouse to each other, you guys, you wouldn't be able to handle this stuff. We say this all the time. Could you imagine if everybody in this chat right now heard the way we talk to each other and rip each other apart? It sounds like it's really bad, like we are decimating each other 24/7. It really does. It's terrible. Some of the stuff we say to each other is just vile. But we understand why we're doing it, right? There's a point to it and all that kind of stuff. When you understand people really well, you can do that. Encourage others with positive words. Let people know they're doing great when they are doing great. You don't always have to let people know they're doing great when they're not, right?
Yeah.
Make it matter, because words have impact.
Yeah.
If you tell everybody
the support that you get from the people around you is important, and it's important for them to be honest and to have critique and to be supportive and have positive affirmations to say like this. Not just say this sucks. This could be better if you tried this, or this could be better if you tried that, and try to have something to back up what you're criticizing or what you're critiquing. If you have something to offer, then offer it.
And the thing is too, always saying that everything's great isn't always super helpful. It becomes a throwaway term. Positive, reinforcement when things really are great actually matter more, right? But it has impact when something, you can tell somebody's put a lot of work into something, and then that's where, so just saying it willy-nilly doesn't always work, right? Solution-focused phrasing constantly in conversations with yourself and others, right? Solutions instead of I can't do, you get what I'm saying. You can make it a game if you want. You can catch and rephrase negative verbiage. Reflect on these things too. Reflect on these changes. Yeah, exactly, Chris. It becomes meaningless, right? Everything, there's a song, everything is awesome, as in the Lego movie, right? Not everything is awesome, right? And it's okay to say that at times. We're going to get out of here. We've got to play the last song. Pete Johns is up next. He's got a pre-recorded video, so we'll dump you over there. I am doing a live stream at a later time, which is people will be getting up early in America. It'll be afternoon for the UK. I'm doing an app demo live. Tomorrow we've got an app demo live. I'm not sure about Unearthed. It still could happen. We don't know. If it doesn't happen, forgive me, right? It's a lot of work, and I'm under the pump at the moment with app demos. Sometimes you've got to prioritize things on the channel and take some time for yourself. We're going to go out with a song me and Brad did when he was here in Australia called The World is a Circus. And the last thing I just want to say is my closing. Your mind, I've written this down actually. Your mind is always listening to every word you say. If you keep telling yourself you're hopeless, your brain will believe you.
Yeah.
But if you start speaking progress, learning, and possibilities, eventually it will believe you too. Let your brain believe good stuff. I've got a song about it called Me and My Brain. Your brain. Love your brain, because your brain's a part of you, right? You may not fully understand exactly how it works, but I'll tell you what, it's always listening and it's controlling the things that you do, and you're controlling it. Symbiotic, yeah? Love you, Brad. Thanks for coming on and being...
Love you, Jade. Thank you. Yeah.
Exposing yourself.
I'm the perfect example of negative self-talk, and it's, this is great for me, and it's a big help, and, you are too. You get frustrated and angry.
I do. I yell at you.
And it's, and you, you can talk yourself into a frenzy.
Yes.
And we don't have to do that. Because we're good at stuff. we are good at stuff.
We can all be good at stuff. We can all be better too, right? And don't let it get you down if you're feeling negative, because it happens, right? Just remember, you can get out of it. You can. There's life's a ladder, right? You can always climb out.
Yep.
Thank you for watching here live. Love you all in the live stream.
Thank you, everyone.
If you're
for
watching
coming.
on the replay, we love you too. Hit the like, do all the stuff, subscribe. We just hit 5,800 subscribers today. How cool is that? This is me and Brad Example. This is called The World is a Circus. We'll dump you over at Pete John's. I'll be back later tonight and you'll see me around the traps and all that stuff. I see you. Let's Oge.
The train pulls from the station. So long I've been waiting. I sold my soul for so much more than it has taken. I believed in the lies I was told. Tried so hard to get back what I've sold. The plans have changed, rearranged. The life I've lived is oh so strange. The world is a circus without any purpose. You made the bed you lay in, the past you're ashamed of, the skies and the secrets you hide. Can't blame me for trying. The tears that I'm crying, it's all brand new. The roads I choose will take me somewhere without you. Always a suspect, never a convict. There's no blood on my hands. I may be imperfect. You can't collect a verdict. Time's moving faster. I know what I'm after. I'm getting older in the ripples on the banks of the river that flows behind where I live. The world is a circus without any purpose. You made the bed you lay in, the past you're ashamed of, the skies and the secrets you hide. The world is a circus without any purpose. You made the bed you lay in, the past you're ashamed of, the skies and the secrets you hide. The world is a circus without any purpose. You made the bed you lay in, the past you're ashamed of, the skies and the secrets you hide.
Thank you to our fantastic moderator for today, Leela, who did a fantastic job. And also thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring today's show. You can get 7% off your first year with DistroKid using distrokid.com/VIP/Jade Starr. Let's Oge, baby.